Hello everyone, it's Don from Insomnia. Don from Esports News UK. My brain's getting all frazzled. I've been doing so many interviews. I'm joined by Dave from British Esports, Head of Strategy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, how are you finding Insomnia?
Yeah, brilliant. It's just great to be back out, right? Meeting people, just saying hi, and great turnout. Fantastic day. Yeah,
it's unusual for me because I worked for the British Esports Association for 4 years full time. And because of that, I never really got to interview you guys because of the conflict of interest. But now I'm full-time on Esports News UK. It's nice to be able to talk to you about things. You've done an awful lot over the past few years. The main one for me is this National Esports Performance Centre in Sunderland. Tell us a bit about that, Dave. That's going to be opening later this year, right?
Yeah. No, it's great to talk to you too, actually, because I see all the work you're doing, and then just think, it'd be great to come on and just tell you what we're up to and those kind of things. So loads of things happening at the moment. I think the performance campus up in Sunderland it's a realization for me of something that we've been thinking about for the last 3 or 4 years, which is esports in the UK is still on the increase. It's still got a way to go, I think, to catch up with some of the other areas. And what we wanted to be able to do was to create this base for all levels of esports, from grassroots all the way up to pros. So if you're a pro, you can come there and you can boot camp and you can do all those wonderful things. And if you're grassroots, you can come and experience high quality equipment, high quality education and training, access to those facilities and production studios, and perhaps some kit that you might not be able to get your hands on every day. So it's all about that education and performance development, and that's going to be at the heart of what we do. But also we'll use it to engage brands, and not just for working with British Esports Federation, but also with the esports ecosystem in the UK as a whole. So if we can do more with brands to advocate, and that supports our infrastructure, our teams, our technologies, our businesses, then that would be a wonderful result.
So you're going to do multiple things there, right? There's going to be boot camps for teams, there's going to be courses. Is there going to be the BTEC there? How's that going to work?
Yeah, so there's going to be there's a partnership signed now with Sunderland. So Sunderland College are going to use it as their home for training and education, and they'll deliver their BTEC program from it. But also we'll be open to schools and colleges and universities across the country to actually come and use the facilities. And there will be some individual education programs that people can come up and use. We'll help train parents if they want training, or educators, stakeholders around publisher licensing, how to set up tournaments, and a whole rake of amazing things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you obviously have the British Esports Student Champs as well, which is great to see. Women in esports. I'll talk to Alice about that. Is there anything you want to add, Dave, about British Esports or your plans? There's the thing with IBM as well, right?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things for me, I think, at the moment. One is that last year we made a big announcement about IBM and this safer space for young people to meet and connect to each other. I think we're seeing a nexus moment, I think, where lots of young people are moving online. They want to play the games, they want to find new people to play with, but we want to try and find a safer way for them to meet. So this partnership with IBM is exploring that right now, and there will be what we'd call a minimum viable product or a beta of this membership platform available sometime over the summer that will get some students to test and see if they can break it, and then enhance it further with a rollout later this year. So we're really, really excited about that, and that's a great partnership with IBM. So that's one really important thing. I think the other thing that's happening this year that we're really excited about is the Commonwealth Esports Championships. So this is the event that isn't directly a medal event for the Commonwealth Games, but it is the Commonwealth Games exploring how it would interact with esports. And I think really importantly, there's been a lot of questions about this from both sporting world and esports world. For esports, it's kind of, do we need sports? And I think what we want to be able to showcase here is a few things, is that we can get real top talent to come and participate. I think that will be a good legacy for it to continue. And I think equally is to note that there are 2.7 billion people in the Commonwealth, and 2/3 of those are under the age of 30. So this is so much more than just a tournament. This is a legacy infrastructure play for the whole of the Commonwealth that we hope to be part of here. So that's really, really exciting. And then for sports, to answer the question of why is it a sport or not, as you know, here in the UK, it's not a sport. And we're absolutely officially we're okay with that in terms of, obviously there's some things we'd like to change. I think visas and different things we'd like to look at, but ultimately We recognise that sport and health and fitness and education are cornerstones to what you do in your esports life. But I think really importantly, what we want to show here is that esports athletes are athletes. You know, they get involved in the whole gamut of coaching, analysis, fitness and health, hydration, nutrition, preparing for game day and be optimal at game day. And I think showcasing that to the sports world through the Commonwealth Esports Championships is a wonderful opportunity.
I knew there was something else to talk about, the Commonwealth stuff, so I look forward to that. Yeah. And Dave, I hope you enjoy Insomnia, the cool British esports stand here, and good luck in the future. I'll talk to Alice now about women in esports.
Thanks, Alice.
Okay, I've got a second guest from British esports now. It's Alice. So Alice, I've worked with you for years. Your title, you were promoted recently, right? Remind me of your title.
I'm a head of operations for British esports now, but I was schools and college liaison officer.
Right, so it's a bit of both. You do everything at British esports. Alice is the go-to.
Yeah, a little bit we do. So I do all the operations, logistics behind all the tournaments, pilots and events that we run. So it's a little bit all the behind the scenes sort of things, but yeah, I dabble in a lot of different areas. What's
it been like at Insomnia so far? I feel like you've got a small stand, but you're in the marketplace. It's very busy and bustly here.
Yeah, so we're kind of on the edge of the marketplace, but we're also right near the Army, the Navy, and also it's just quite good because you see a lot of people going past. They're interested in what the store's about, what we are, the QR code. So although it's a slightly odd location, it's actually really nice to get that constant flow of people to be able to talk to them about what esports is and how they can get involved.
I didn't actually ask that. What does this do if people scan that here?
So it takes them to the British esports website. So it's just a really quick and easy way for us to say, go here, go to the education site and just learn more about us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you sort of spearhead the Women in Esports initiative. I say spearhead, there are a few people, you have your Women in Esports committee, but you've been integral to that since day one. And I know you've got lots of interesting plans. Now that we're sort of coming out of the pandemic, you know, there's been talks of potential networking things in the future. Tell us a bit about Women in Esports and where that's at, right?
Yeah, so obviously it started out as very much content focused. So myself and Morgan Nash is just now at ESI. Obviously we co-founded this and she's still very much an integral part of our committee. But it's also how we can push that forward. So not just content based, but looking at participation, education is a really big thing for us this year. So how can we get best practices at a younger age to really improve those resources and processes throughout school, college, university. So when, you know, women and everyone in the esports grows up, they've got those core best practices, guidelines to know what's right and wrong in the industry. We are looking a lot about safer space as well. What does that look like? Is it we look to do a pledge or something for organisations in the future where they can follow these guidelines and really help nurture a protective scene? Because I mean, I think it's great to see how like Valorant's growing. ESL done something with Counterfeit recently as well. But what more can be done in this space? The Commonwealth Esports Championships also has women's teams as well as open teams.
Is that for Dota or multiple games? Because you've got eFootball and Rocket League as well, right?
So it's for all teams. So it's for eFootball PES and it's for Dota 2 and it's also for Rocket League. So there'll be women's representation in all those titles, which is fantastic. So we're really trying to push that British esports for all home nations. To really try and get as much representation as possible, which hopefully in time with the Birmingham live event, mainstream media should pick up on this a lot more as well and hopefully make it much more ingrained that inclusivity is a thing and we can do it.
Yeah, and those home nations you mentioned, you've got Esports England, Esports Scotland, Esports Wales and Esports Northern Ireland, right, which British Esports is sort of working with. And you've got Mark from Vex Gaming, the UK Esports Org, is like the team manager for England. It's nice to see. What's it been like cooperating with those different nations?
It's been great. They're all so passionate about the success of the Commonwealth Esports Championships, about esports in general, and it's really great to see them all clubbing together to work towards representation for the UK, because I think if we all work together continuously like this, and UK esports are only going to grow, and so next Commonwealth there should be a much larger talent pool to choose from, whereas at the moment it's now very much scouting, and there are some team selections and qualifiers going on, but as we build this all together, it should make the UK scene just grow in general, and I think that's really something really exciting to see. I think we're all really passionate about pushing that forward.
Yeah, on that note, yes, it is exciting to see. It's great to be back at events. Alice, thanks for talking to me. Good luck with everything with Women in Esports, with British Esports. I'll be following.
Thank you.
I feel like I have an affinity to British Esports because I've worked for you guys for like 4 years or whatever it was. And thanks for watching as well. Go give British Esports Association a follow and Esports England, the home nations. I'll be back with more interviews from Insomnia. and esports tournament coverage this whole weekend. Thanks to Aegon by AOC for sending me here, and I'll see you in the next one.